Travis, and this will be my thoughts on Smackdown, the go-home show of bragging rights. And I will say this, I do think the WWE has actually done a pretty good job of building up bragging rights, even though really all they've done is done what you would expect them to do for Survivor Series, and they just haven't done it. But, so I guess we're going to get back-to-back Survivor Series. I don't know. But, the build-up I thought has been pretty good, and I actually liked this show. Even though there wasn't a lot on the show as far as storyline development, it was much more of, you know, them trying to sell the idea of, you know, Raw versus SmackDown. Which, it's kind of hard when, you know, the brand split really doesn't mean anything, and probably will not mean anything. And they probably, you know, I've always said that I think the brand split is a good thing, but only if they use it. But they really haven't used it probably that well in the last year and a half, even with the bragging rights pay-per-view. So, there we go. But, we started with the two teams for bragging rights in the ring, and they basically did this standoff where they were going to make matches for each other, and we got a six-man with The Miz and Ezekiel Jackson and Sheamus taking on the Big Show, Kofi Kingston and Rey Mysterio, Jack Swagger taking on Santino Marella, Del Rio taking on John Morrison, Edge taking on CM Punk, and let's see, I think that was it. Yeah, and that was it. That was everything on. That was all of that. But they ran down this. They basically all did promos versus each other, kind of setting everything up, and then we got the first match, which was the six-man, which was The Miz and Ezekiel Jackson and Sheamus taking on the Big Show, Kofi Kingston and Rey Mysterio. This didn't go very long. It was still okay. There was nothing really actually that bad overall on the entire show. Excuse me. On the entire show, I thought. And, was kind of what it was. Okay match. Big Show team, the SmackDown team went over, which, you know, the SmackDown team has been made to look pretty dominant in these matches leading up to the pay-per-view, which makes me think that at the pay-per-view that the Raw team is just going to, you know, not have anybody eliminated and just destroy the SmackDown team. So, there we go. Then we had Jack Swagger taking on Santino. This was pretty much a comedy match, where we had, for some weird reason, we had the Hornswoggle come out to be, you know, because he's the mascot of SmackDown, and he comes out to fight the Eagle, the Soaring Eagle, Swagger's Soaring Eagle, which I didn't really understand any of that, other than just, it makes no sense to me. You would think that, why would Hornswoggle, yeah, it was weird. Anyways, but it was pretty crazy. So there we go there. Next we had Del Rio taking on John Morrison. This was a pretty good little match. It's not great, but it was pretty good. I was just kind of, alright, good for a TV match, I would say. Just kind of went out there, did their thing, and it was okay. Then we got Edge vs. CM Punk. This was a good TV match, with a extremely crappy finish, because we had this massive run-in at the end. Edge did eventually get his spear. Everyone got, from both teams ran in. It was just a big clusterfuck. But it worked in kind of the way I guess it needed to work. It was a nice kind of build-up. And then we got the main event, which is Randy Orton taking on Kane. Oh, I forgot the women's match. We had Michelle McCool and Layla came out, basically doing a parody of Natalie and Bret Hart, and then that brought out Kelly Kelly and Natalya came out. We had a tag match. It was your basic Divas match. The comedy portions with them dressed as, you know, Natalya and Bret Hart were kind of funny, but that was about it, and it was just kind of there. And then we had Kane versus Randy Orton. They had another good match. I mean, they had pretty good chemistry. It was almost went 15 minutes, I think. Was just kind of there. I was wondering how they were going to end it. They actually had Randy Orton go over, but Undertaker, the lights went out, and Orton got the RKO, and Orton went over. So I guess even though SmackDown kind of won the night as far as the bragging rights stuff went, you know, they made sure to make the Raw guy go over, even though it was kind of, you know, a cheapy win, I guess, but didn't really feel that way. Then Kane was upset. We had the Undertaker come up through the under and through the mat of the ring. Brought Kane under as we went off the air. We've seen that done before. So there's your pay-per-view. I'm still, you know, I'm not. The pay-per-view could be good. I think they did do one segment with Ziggler to kind of pop up that match, but I don't expect a lot from this pay-per-view. This is one of the pay-per-views. I just don't understand why they just don't get rid of it, and particularly with UFC, with Brock being the night before, that's not going to help matters either. So, dumb WWE. But anyways, there we go with that. Overall, you know, I did think it was a fairly good show wrestling-wise. We didn't get a lot of, you know, other stuff, just wrestling. And it wasn't bad for that, but it was just kind of, you know, go out there and put on, felt kind of like a house show in a lot of ways. But they did have the storylines kind of going through it. I did enjoy the show, but just I didn't enjoy it as much as probably the wrestling should have allowed me to enjoy it, because there wasn't a lot of other stuff on the show, and the wrestling wasn't that great, even for a TV show, even though there was really nothing horrible on the show. So, I don't know, kind of indifferent. But anyways, you know, the wrestling show had wrestling on it. Imagine that. Anyways, with that, we're out later.